Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be informing you guys on an epidemic spreading across the United States, which is prescription drug abuse. Prescription drug abuse in the U.S. is alarmingly high. According to the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, more Americans abuse prescription drugs than the number of those abusing cocaine, halogens, and heroin combined. This makes prescription drug abuse the second most abused drug in the United States. According to ABC News, Jay from Houston, Texas, was a nationally ranked tennis player and a good worker and a hard-working student. His parents had no idea that he was using prescription drug abuse on a daily basis to get high. He began using drugs like no, you're gonna start all over again. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will be informing you on an epidemic that is spreading rapidly across the world, which is prescription drug abuse in the work field. What is prescription drug abuse? Prescription drug abuse is when someone takes a medication in an inappropriate way, such as without a prescription, in a way other than prescribed, for the high illicit. It includes taking your friend's or relative's prescription to treat pain or because you think it will help with the study. According to the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, more Americans abuse prescription drugs than the number of those using cocaine, halogens, and heroin combined. This makes prescription drug abuse the second most abused drug form in the United States. According to ABC News, Jay from Houston, Texas, was a nationally ranked tennis player, hard worker, and good student. His parents had no idea that he was going to school high on prescription drugs. He began using drugs like oxycodone, Vaxin, Vitakin, and Adderall since he was 13. His mother never suspected that her son was abusing drugs. She said that he seemed normal. Jay, along with many others teenagers across America, have overdosed on prescription drugs. And according to a study conducted by the White House, hospitalization for misuse of prescription drugs has increased over 400%. Not only do teens use prescription drug abuse, adults do as well. According to the New York Times, a mother got a call in the middle of the night saying that her 3-year-old newborn was suffering opiate withdrawal. The reason why her child was suffering opiate withdrawal was because while pregnant, her mother was overdosing on prescription painkillers, not knowing that it was harming her child. While in the womb, her child would go through seizures without being known. The baby suffered opiate withdrawals because his mother had abused prescription painkillers like oxycodone for the first 12 weeks of her pregnancy. Because her mother tried to quit suddenly, doctors said it could have ended in a miscarriage. This baby's seizures while in the womb, and because of this, the mother started methadone treatment with daily doses to keep her from having withdrawal symptoms. As prescription drug abuse rises in communities across the country, doctors are confronting an emergency challenge of newborns being born dependent on painkillers. Infants born dependent on painkillers are prescription drugs, may cry excessively, have diarrhea, have stiff limbs, tremors, and other possible symptoms for the first day of their lives, which will make their lives unbearable. This results in tens of thousands of dollars in medical care. And it is a common misconception that abusing a prescription drug is safer than abusing any type of drug. However, this is wrong. Abusing any type of drug is wrong. When abused prescription drugs are taken in incorrect doses or by routes of administration, that change the way that drugs act in the body, risking overdose. For example, when people who abuse oxycodone crush and inhale the pills, this causes a 12-hour dose to hit their central nervous system all at once, which increases their risk of addiction and overdose. Stimulants such as Adderall help people to focus for a short amount of time, but they do raise your heart rate and your blood pressure. These side effects can be made worse when prescription drugs are abused in combination with alcohol, other prescription drugs, and over-the-counter medications such as cough syrup. For example, some people mix alcohol and painkillers or Valium, which can slow breathing. This combination could cause breathing to stop completely, leading to hospitalization or death. Within all the risk involved in using prescription drugs in ways other than prescribed, why do people do it? The problem tends to start in college campuses, where students seek out medication either for recreational use or to keep up with college life. Once a habit is formed, it can translate to the workplace. Workers take prescription drugs without medical supervision for a variety of reasons, including a desire to self-medicate, stay awake, or go to sleep. From 2002 to 2005, there was 90% increase in American adults taking ADHD medications such as Adderall for reasons other than prescribed. According to the Occupation Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, all of drug users, 74.8% of employees are active in the workplace. This means that 12.9 million individuals actively use drugs in the workforce. And according to the Employer's Guide of Workplace Substance Abuse, drug and alcohol problems cost the United States an estimated $270 billion a year. The abuse of prescription drugs in the workplace, especially true in occupational that requires the use of motorized machinery, including factory, transportation, and construction workers. As a matter of fact, according to OSHA, between 10 and 20% of American workers who die at work have a positive result when tested for drugs or alcohol. Employees who perform high-risk services such as healthcare providers, firefighters, and police officers also pose a very large safety risk to others when abusing prescription drugs. Prevention to prescription drug abuse in the workplace can be done by implementing an effective workplace program that deals with drugs testing before hiring as well as during random testing while working with the company. And have also, these tests could have consequences to the employees who test positive for use of prescription drugs. Large businesses are more likely to have programs like this. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, from 68 to 74% of large businesses have that kind of program implemented. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, small businesses are more dependently affected by workers' prescription drug abuse. Because they often lack the resources for anti-drug programs, they are sought out for employment by drug abusers. The Department of Labor estimates that 9 in 10 of lethal drug users who are employed for a small business or medium-sized business, the cost of just a single drug incident can bankrupt a small business. The Department of Labor urges smaller businesses to develop drug-free workplaces programs and to educate workers about the dangers of any type of drug abuse, whether illicit or prescription. Even though they are unable to afford drug prevention programs, they provide their employees with materials that will educate them as well as the employees of how harmful the effects of prescription drug abuse is. They can also be sure to have clearly stated rules in place outlining the disciplinary actions if there is a prescription drug abuse in the workplace, as well as to train managers and human resource personnel to identify and handle substance abusers. Ways to identify abusers is to look for increased absences, decreased productivity, and involvement in accidents both on and off the job. Not only is it important for businesses to take notice of the growing prescription drug abuse problems in the country, it is important for everyone to recognize this problem. A step that could be taken in your own home to protect yourself and your family from becoming dependent for prescription drugs is to clean out your medicine cabinet and properly disposing of unused and expired medication by taking them to a take-back initiative, such as these initiatives take the medication and they dispose of it properly. There is different locations and there is different time periods that you can take these medications in order for them to be disposed of. And I complete my presentation. Thank you. How long was